Hi everyone, Sean here from ButcherBox Singapore. Today I'm going to show you how to cook our most popular fish, Akaroa king salmon. Akaroa salmon is a sea-run salmon from the Akaroa harbour in Canterbury, New Zealand. It's a family-run operation and has been for over 3 decades. Akaroa salmon keep their pens at an incredibly low density, meaning the fish have got a lot of room to swim around in. They guarantee exceptional quality. We distribute Akaroa salmon to restaurants, hotels and households all over Singapore. First we start by bringing our salmon out of the fridge at least 10 to 15 minutes before we go to cook it. This ensures that it comes to somewhat of a room temperature, which means that it won't be cold in the middle and you won't undercook it. So first we'll start by patting our salmon dry with a little bit of paper towel, making sure that you pat the skin, and then that's ready to season. So what we'll do is we'll get a little bit of salt, and I'll just spread a little bit of salt around the cutting board. And then I'll just get the salmon, wipe the side into the salt, get that there, put it face down. And now I'll just get a little bit more salt and I'll season the skin. Then what we'll do is we'll get a couple of tablespoons of oil and we'll just coat the salmon in oil. And now we're ready to cook. This pan's been preheating for about 10 to 15 minutes and I'm going to put the salmon in there skin side down and facing away from me just in case there's any splash. So now I'm going to place the salmon into the pan. If you don't have a non-stick pan, you can get a bit of cooking paper and put that down first. So I'm just going to get the salmon, put it into the pan and lay it away from me. That sizzle is what you want. So I'm just going to place that down like that. And then you'll notice that when you put this salmon in, it'll start to curl up a little bit. And what you want to do is just use the back of your tongs and just keep that pushed down. And that way we'll get nice, even skin. So what we'll do is we'll leave this for about 1 to 2 minutes and then we'll turn it down to a lower heat to see out the rest of the cooking duration. So our salmon's been cooking now for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. And what I'm going to do now is just turn the heat down to a medium to low heat. And then I'm going to cook it for a further 4 minutes. You should be sure not to move the salmon around when you're cooking it. You don't want to break that surface area between the pan and the skin. Leaving it there, leaving it in one spot is super important to getting that real nice crispy skin on the back of your salmon. So while that's cooking, I'm just going to cut a couple of slices of our in-house made garlic butter, which goes really, really well with this salmon. Okay, so the salmon's been in the pan now for about 6 minutes total. We've had about 1.5 minutes on the skin, which has made it really crispy as it was hotter. Then we've turned the heat down and gone for an extra 4 minutes. We've now turned the heat back up to where it was before, and we're just gonna do the sides. I'm just gonna flip this over a bit, and we're gonna do about 10 seconds on each side of the salmon. And I'm just gonna use a couple of different tools here to make sure that I don't ruin the salmon. And what you can do is just put it against the edge of your pan so then you don't ruin your salmon or have it fall over during the cooking process. So leave it there for about 10 seconds. That's just enough to cook the outside flesh. We're not looking to get a huge sear on the outside. The searing is mainly done on the skin. So that's about 10 seconds now. I'm just going to flip it over. So we're going to go for another 10 seconds on that side and then we'll flip it over again and do another 10 seconds on the other side. So now what we've done is we've done 10 seconds of cooking on each side of the salmon. We're going to flip it back onto the skin and then we're going to throw our in-house made garlic butter in with the salmon. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend about 30 seconds basting this fish in the butter, and you don't have to use garlic butter. You can use any type of butter that you would like on your fish. I like to use garlic butter because I think that it goes on everything. So I like to baste the fish in the butter until the butter starts to turn a little bit brown and starts to go a bit dark around the edge. If you leave it any longer than that, I find that you get a bit of a burnt butter taste, and you know, I'm not into that. So what I was talking about is just happening around the edges there. We're starting to get some burnt bits through our butter. So now's the time to take it off. So now we've finished cooking our salmon. We've got some nice garlic and herbs over our salmon from basting the butter. We've got crispy skin and it's going to be perfect inside, I can just tell. Now we're just going to let it rest for about 3 to 4 minutes. After it's rested, plate it up nicely like this. I like to serve it with a bit of quinoa and a little bit of lemon. So take your lemon, squeeze a little bit over the top, serve and enjoy. Make sure to drop in the butcher box at 414 Dew Chat Road to get more advice, tips and tricks on how to get the most out of your meat.